touched my skin, and I could feel the breaking of my cold stone heart was about to begin. The moment that we locked eyes, now everywhere you go, my eyes follow close, and I'm just waiting for the time to be right to tell you how I've loved you for a while. Oh, my heart is going wild. You wear me down like when the sea meets earth. I fade away just like the rocks have worn. Don't you see what you do to me? You keep crashing into me. I keep turning out to be something more than what I was before.
10 seconds to go. Radiant's band.
Good evening and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the most important match of the night. My name's Toffees. I'm joined by Gorgon the Wonder Cow for this elimination match. University of Iowa with their back against the wall. Rochester Institute of Technology has them on the ropes, is throwing body punches left and right, and University of Iowa's got to figure out how to get them in the bear hug, push them off, and get themselves back in this, because whoever loses, Gorgon, this is the end of their run for DreamHack. The winner goes to playoffs and starts over fresh with an empty record and the ease of a big push with no losses on their mind. This is a big one. It's going to be a lot of fun. Before we talk about the draft, let's talk about our sponsors, Twitch. A big thanks to them for sponsoring CSL, featuring our matches weekly. We're proud to be affiliated with the largest gaming stream provider in the world. The other big name that we need to say thank you to is Asus Republic of Gamers. They are the presenting sponsor this year. They make some of the world's best PC gaming laptops, PCs, and monitors. They're also funding this season's travel to DreamHack and our prize pool for the entire year. Be sure to follow their social media at Asus_ROG and thank them for sponsoring the CSL. Gorgon, this should be good because these teams are one game away from the potential to really make that last push.
Well, how did University of Iowa justify not banning Earth Spirit?
Right?
So I told you before that last game even started.
Sorry, this is me slapping the shit out of the captain.
It looks like Rochester has an Earth Spirit player. I bet all the games after this, there will be an instant Earth Spirit ban. And then University of Iowa thinks for an hour and decides to not ban the Earth Spirit. They will get the Silencer, who is pretty good up against Earth Spirit.
Man, I don't know.
Not good enough to justify it. He had like 22 assists last game.
Right, that's the thing.
And granted, his early game execution was not super great,
it wasn't
but
great,
he
but it
really
wasn't
warmed
bad.
up into it.
Yeah, it took him a minute
exactly.
and a half to get fired up. The problem is here, mediocre Earth Spirit at this level, sure, let him go through, counter him with the Silencer, say, all right, I'll play into your hero. That said, when you've got a player that was doing as well as Matau32 did on the Earth Spirit, that's a big thing, Gorgon. I don't remember names that well, so the fact that I know Matau played Earth Spirit last time around means that it was really well executed, and you don't let it go through. I don't care how much you like looking at the gauges in that Spirit's ears, it's not worth having him on the map.
Right?
Silly.
There's no justification for that. The Invoker is going to be coming out here as well. Another hero who actually gets shut down by the Silencer pretty decently.
Yeah.
So University of Iowa at least have something going for them.
Well, they got something going for them. I mean, they're Iowa. They've had a great record coming into this game. They've got the Witch Doctor, the walking fountain from hell. He's very strong, I think, in this meta. A lot of the way that Rochester took the last game, a lot of the team fights they put together, I think the Witch Doctor is going to be great against. The problem that I foresee is Earth Spirit, Invoker. There's just so much control already on the map at the second pick of the game, and you know one of those players is good. You're going to have a tall order for you. They banned the Zeus. They banned the Juggernaut. Second time they've done that, by the way. On the opposite side, Iowa goes down the same road they did last time. OD, Void, two heroes that are arguably very powerful right now. Okay, I'll say this. OD, not arguably, just is. Void, I think, still very, very strong in this meta, just not used as much as maybe I hope to see him used, and I think that'll change in the majors. That said, Iowa, with this next ban grouping and pick grouping, has an incredible onus on them to make the right choices. And what do you do? Do you just counterpick the Earth Spirit across the board, or do you think this is a pocket strategy that Iowa's been working on to try and lock up a win?
I don't know what they're doing, to be honest. Like, the Witch Doctor is a very popular, very successful hero this patch, especially at the competitive level. Silencer does well here, and I mean, I really like Silencer personally. I have a lot of personal Silencer games, so I'm maybe biased towards the hero. I think he's very strong in a lot of situations, and he does not give away very much about your draft when you get him. But Iowa won't have a Zeus to pair up with that Silencer for global potential. They could grab a Spectre if they wanted, but I'm still waiting for the other shoe to drop in terms of figuring out what Iowa's going to do.
Rochester's
to
banning
shut down
out
this Earth Spirit.
Battle Fury hero, or Cleave Battle Fury type hero pickups
Yeah.
here. It tells me maybe they're looking for some push. They want to just get aggressive and take it to Rochester. I'll be that interesting pickup. But again, University of Iowa is now sitting on 3 heroes that, 2 of them obvious supports. Silencer, someone who flexes back and forth, but if you want your Silencer to play core, I feel like he really has to sort of get up and running quickly and have a good start to the game. And if they start anything like they did last time, I was not going to get that opportunity. Spectre now gets picked up as well. Interesting that they picked Spectre into a Silencer. You think that could cause an issue? Because
Not
if
really.
you don't think strong initiations could prevent him from escape?
So here's what the Spectre offers. If RIT gets off to a really good early start with the Earth Spirit rotating and the Invoker getting going, they will be able to kill globally. Like, they're gonna pick up probably an Ancient Apparition, and then they'll have Sunstrike. This will probably be an Exhort style Invoker. Sunstrike into Haunt. Even if the silence comes out before you can Haunt in, you still get the Haunt illusion so that you get some assist. And then presumably some other global potentials. Well, they banned the Zeus, which means there's not a lot of global reinitiation potential. I like the Ursa here. And Venge is okay.
Interesting.
I'm not in love with the Venge. It works well against the Ursa, but other than that, what I do like about the Ursa is that there's not a lot of big AoE blink dagger stoppers coming out here for RIT. And he does chew through Spectre pretty effectively.
That is true.
Earth Spirit can still be a big pain, as can Vengeful Spirit. Granted, the Vengeful Spirit wasn't here when the Ursa was picked. But other than those two, Ursa, he might need a BKB, but I think he's an okay pick.
Absolutely. Now, I do believe that this last ban may have come from number 5 saying, if you're going to make me play the Witch Doctor, I'm not going up against the Nyx. I'm not going up against the Nyx. Get the Nyx off the stage. And Nyx is banned out. Rochester used it very effectively in the last game. Took some questionable stunts, was playing him like a lion to a certain extent, but ultimately I think came back from that and figured out the hero. Darkseer is going to get banned out here as well. Darkseer, pretty strong against the push. Do you think we're going to see something like a Nature's Prophet get picked up here in the last position?
For RIT?
Yeah.
That wouldn't be a terrible pick. If they have a Nature's Prophet player, that would be okay. I wouldn't hate that.
Well, thanks for approving my pick.
I wouldn't have thought of it because I don't really, you see the hero a lot more now than you did even sort of recently, but he still doesn't register for me as like that. Oh, there's an offlaner. You need to pick up a Nature's Prophet. He's one of the most popular offlaners this patch. It just hasn't sunk in for me yet. A Spirit Breaker, I think, would be good here as well.
Spirit Breaker would be strong. You could argue potentially a Lone Druid might not be a terrible choice if they have one, but it's going to be a
They don't
Broodmother.
really have
In fact,
clear for the Broodmother.
I think chat talked about that earlier. Broodmother is going to come out. Death Prophet will have the onus of trying to slow down the Brood, I suppose. But
that was what all the cleave bans that you were mentioning was for.
So there we go. I thought maybe that was the Nature's Prophet that they were banning for, but makes more sense if you've got a Broodmother user at this stage of the game. She's a tough one to counter, and honestly, Gorgon, when we talk about collegiate Dota, the level of play here is high, but it's not as high as the pros. And I think that you see a lot less Brood at sort of the upper levels because she is counterable, using good teamwork. Here, I think Rochester is taking a really good risk. They got a game in hand. Broodmother is a hero who you either counter very effectively or you get crushed under the weight of her push. And if they get crushed, they got another game. If they don't,
Brood does wonderfully against all the single target as well. In terms of the coconut bounce, the Witch Doctor can go out, right, for paralyzing cast. Those broodlings just shut it down completely. The exorcism, you don't really think of it this that often, but each one of those ghosts, those units that flies around her, hits one target and then comes back to her. Then goes back out. So when you have a lot of little targets, it isn't going to stop the Death Prophet from healing, but it will just seriously mitigate the damage that she can actually do in a team fight. And then they, like you had mentioned, they have no clear at all. And the Ursa's not going to want to get a Maelstrom just to deal with the Brood. So I don't really know how Iowa responds to that.
All right, so Hactor's going to head to lane. He's picked up the recipe for the Soul Ring, but no ring, interestingly enough. The entire team will go 5 to top and 5 to bottom, just like last time. We'll see the split. Let's go through the introductions here real quick. In this match between Rochester Institute of Technology and University of Iowa, if RIT wins, it is the end of the night and the end of Iowa's dreams of playing a DreamHack. For Iowa, on the dire side, we're going to have Game Over, hoping it's not the end of their game tonight. Playing the Omni Knight, we're going to have Vinny on the Ursa Witch Doctor. We'll be practicing some serious voodoo as number 5. We're going to have Silencer played by Shark Mangler. And last but certainly not least, it's going to be Vink on the Death Prophet.
All right, and here for RIT, we've got Sex taking that Spectre. Z is going to go on the Invoker. Matau 32 is taking Earth Spirit for a spin. Haktar is summoning the little broodlings on the Broodmother, and Wort 765 is going to be on the Vengeful Spirit.
That's how they break down. That's the tail of the tape, the CS chart, the last hit tonight for you up on the screen. And I'm going to say it again because this is important for you to know if you're just joining us. This is for all the marbles. The team that loses here tonight has their dreams of attending DreamHack crushed. And those who win advance automatically to playoffs. They're going to bring 5 to the mid, knowing that Earth Spirit is up to no good. In fact, Game Over is here as well. And they said, you know what? We saw what you did to our DP last time. It was annoying. So now we've got Matau. We're going to bring in some backup just to make sure that you're safe. Matau, though, the king of patience, hides in the trees very effectively. And once again, we'll be looking for that sub 2-minute attraction.
Yeah, it's not better for the DP to have a support in this lane, right? Because she wants the levels. Ideally, in a perfect world, the Earth Spirit would just leave her alone, right? That's what she wants. She wants Earth Spirit to leave her alone. And so they showed the Omni Knight just long enough to try and compel that behavior. Yeah.
And then off they go. We're just going to head back to the bottom lane. We got an aggressive try coming out of the Dire right now. Up on top, Game Over is playing the safe lane solo Omni Knight, which should be pretty interesting up against this Broodmother. Do you like that line? The way? Oh, sorry. Let's go to the bottom. Mangler in some trouble. Is he giving up first blood again? He does. Down he goes to Sex Ed, and Sex Ed going to be on the run. Vinny putting in some work. Makes the turd. Wants to charge after Venge. Venge dropping very low. Vinny trying to close the deal, but he may find himself outdistanced. Matau gets blocked into the trees. Will roll away. Vinny turns around, gets Venge, and will walk away. So ultimately, they do go down a bit of miscommunication on... I don't think RIT thought that Iowa would commit to get that Venge so aggressively. I thought they'd back off after they lost their hero, and it ends up being a 1-for-1.
But when you are in an aggressive trial and you engage for every little bit of space that you think you might be able to get, especially, granted, the Silencer was dead, but Silencer does well in aggressive trial lanes if you take risks. but not if you are just trying to create space for your farming carry out of the aggressive tri-lane. I mean, obviously that's not a great way to run an aggressive tri-lane in general, but especially with a silencer, you just can't justify it. The reason you want this is so that it's high kills, even if you're trading kills, to get that early intelligence count on the silencer.
All right, I'll go back to the aggressive tri-lanes. It looks like it is going to be very eventful. The guys from Iowa definitely executing it very, very strongly. SXX going to have to fall backwards here as he's being harassed by the silencer. One of the hardest supports to sort of deal with, but maybe not as they come in. The stun, the roll, the goal to kill him, and they accomplish it. Matau taking damage. Sunstrike comes in. It's going to hit. That's 2 down for Iowa, 1 down for RIT. Number 5 is going to run, and I think he might have made a number 2 in his pants as he thought he was in trouble there as well. Nice play by RIT to say, hey, your aggressive tri-lane is not for us.
It's not working out either. The silencer is not. He's the first one down all the time. They need silencer to not die. They should be sacrificing the witch doctor to get these kills so that the silencer can steal intelligence. That should be the play. But silencer is always out in the lead. He's always trying to make things happen. It seems like he's kind of dragging his teammates by the toes into these fights. Like they don't really want to engage, you know?
Yeah, it feels like Vinny just wants to get the right clicks right here.
Yeah.
So,
which, I mean, he's a carry. He should. That should be his primary motivation. But the witch doctor needs to be the one out in front. It can't be the silencer anymore. If they lose the silencer one more time in this lane, even if they're trading even, it's such a loss of potential capital for later on in the game that I can't imagine it not coming back to bite them, especially since the brood mother's basically free farming up top.
So it does, by the way, feel to me, well, Hector is going to go on game over. Game over is going to put up some resistance. Can he survive? I don't think he can.
Yeah,
he goes down.
He's gone.
He goes down. Killed by the broodmother, beautifully done, and RIT starts to take some distance. But what it feels like on this aggressive tri-lane is Vinny and 5 are still a little bit burned from the last game. They had a really rough start that just translated to a tough game for both of them.
Oh, here.
And now they're going to go on Wirt. We're just going to get caught. Perfect coconut. Beautifully done. Venge, though, they change targets soon. He will manage to get away. Matau taking damage. Goes to the roll. Not far enough. What a play, Vinny. Comes in, gets the kill. They pick up a double. So Brood did top, but Iowa gets the return. And now Sexat's got to be a little bit careful here as Vinny is playing very aggressively, knowing, hey, we finally got things firing on all cylinders. Hacktar wants to go on game over again. Game over is going to back up, taking a lot of damage. Meanwhile, let's check in on mid. It's been a while since we looked in on them. Bink is 19-6. Z is 22-9, so still relatively close. If you look at their net worth, they're right on top of each other.
So that was that engagement where they led with Vinny. That worked out perfectly. Now, granted, you don't necessarily want your carry to be the one soaking up the damage, but because of the good paralyzing cask bounce, it ended up working out. And you saw four stolen intelligence for the rest of the game. We're only at 5 minutes. He's almost got an intelligence per minute just off of that engagement. They get another engagement like that, and it looks like they're trying.
Might, but they turn around on Vinny. Vinny gets stunned. Here comes the roll. He was hiding in the trees. Vinny take a lot of damage. They do finish off the job. Now 5 and Shark Mangler are going to be on the run, but they turn back on Sexed. He's got the Maledict on him. One more click should be able to finish him in the long run. That'll guarantee his death. Meanwhile, Silencer goes down. Spectre is not going to make it, and they go 2 for 1. Let me ask you that. Spectre goes down that situation. Was it worth it for the Silencer and Vinny?
No, the Silencer didn't get the intelligence. He got greedy. What happened there was Silencer tried to fight one-on-one to the Vengeful Spirit and let the Witch Doctor just finish the Spectre, with the end goal being get an extra kill, right? But by doing that, instead of just diving and guaranteeing his own death, but also guaranteeing the intelligence, he basically just gave up 2 free intelligence, which isn't one lost stack of intelligence. It does not make or break a game, but that as a system, you're constantly losing out on opportunities to get intelligence, really makes a big mid-game difference.
Absolutely. By the way, in the mid, while that was going on, Death Prophet Vink dove Invoker all the way back to the tier 2 tower and managed to secure a kill and just barely escaped before Matau rotated up. Now we'll go back to the bottom lane where the action has been near constant. It's a 6-6 match at 7 minutes. Both of these teams are very clearly showing that they desperately want this win. 5 will come forward. They get up on Link on Sex. He's going to have to fall backwards. Wurt's a little bit low. Has the Invis rune, but can she justify an engagement? She goes for it. Mangler taking damage. She's going to go on the run. There's the stun from Matau. Comes through. We lost the bench. We knew that was going to happen. Mangler will go down as well. Vinny gets Matau. That's a double. And Sex could be in a little bit of trouble here. He goes into the trees. He's trying to find a safe escape. He does not have a TP scroll, and Vinny will simply hunt him down. He does have the dagger to try and make his escape as he hides very effectively in there. And I guess he'll just wait out his chance to go.
Seems to be.
I guess you dagger out this way and buy a TP maybe? Wait for your team to come back?
He sees the TP coming in. He does have the dagger whenever he wants. He's actually going to try to come around behind and get a kill out of this, I think.
Interesting. Vinny is at full health right now, so he's got to be careful. Meanwhile, 5 is going to go for this. Now, that's going to alert them that 5 is out of lane, which means that they may make a move on Vinny at that moment. So they will do it. The dagger is going to come forward. Out comes the stun. He's pinging it, saying he has no backup. Ping comes out. Armor reduction to follow. Sex backs away. Sunstrike misses. Oh, the beautiful paralyzing cast as 5 comes to the rescue just in time. Or does he? Ursa picked off. 5 in some trouble. He's isolated. Oh my god, wrong place, wrong time. Beautiful coconut, but head split like they wanted the milk.
Yeah, the Maldic just wasn't in place quite early enough on that damage, unfortunately. And that is a really bad moment for Iowa. For University of Iowa, that I think is the fight where this game went from we could be executing better to we just executed poorly.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
That's where you start to see that breakdown. The Invoker is doing just fine. He's 1-1 and 2 out of the mid lane. The Death Prophet doing okay as well. Keeping up in last hits, has a kill to her name. But this Brood Mother is going to be indomitable later on.
Already a tower down. She's going to continue her push. They don't really have an answer for that, as you said. Meanwhile, like they lost Vinny, which really a great patient play by the Spectre. The guys from Iowa assumed the Spectre had TP'd to safety to heal back up, was not prepared for the flank. They had vision on the tower TP area, and Ursa thought, you know what, I'm okay to stick around and get some last hits. Ends up paying with his life. Meanwhile, back at the mid, 41 and 18 for Z, 39 and 6 for Venk, who's making the dive. Gets up the link, but it gives you vision, breaks it behind the tree. Nicely done.
And meanwhile, still up top, game over. It's going to die.
Oh my. Downey, I'm going to pull a little George Takai right there. They're going to push forward now.
My.
Hector and Sex ED doing a really good job of pushing aggressively, going to lay into this tower. It is dropping very, very quickly. And the guys on the bottom say, we got to make something happen. We've got to push. They're taking our tier 2. We know that their mid is still in mid. Let's do something here. But they just don't have the ability to get there under the tower and make it happen. Mattel's going to hang back. They know that he can cause a lot of trouble with that remnant. And that's what he's going to try to do here as the top tower continues to fall. No glyph going to be used. I don't think they even have one available. No, it's actually, there it is. So it was just used, and now Mattel will come out to try and continue the stall. Top tower dropping, and that will go down. We see a rotation out by game over, but he can't do anything to engage into this. Meanwhile, in the mid, Vink tried to go on Z, but a beautiful rotation from Wirt ends up costing him his life. So they do get a kill on that mid, and Iowa is... It's like that scene from Aladdin, you know, where like... The rug gets tied up. It just is unraveling quickly in front of your eyes. Shark Mangler just continues.
Game over up top.
Yeah. Game over goes down. Shark Mangler goes down. Massacre. RIT.
So if there's one thing, I'll have to come back to this because there's going to be an engagement.
Keep going. In comes Tornado. Sexy D wants to move on 5. 5 is going to go down. Vinny gets away to safety just barely. Meanwhile, Hector is going high ground.
So if you are Iowa, the one thing that you do not want to do this game is just say, well, I guess we'll just ignore the Brood.
Somebody buy
But
that.
if there's one hero in the game that you cannot afford to ignore early, especially if you don't have wave clear, it's the Brood, because she'll knock down your towers faster than any farming carry will. She'll knock down your heroes much more effectively than farming carries will in the early game.
5. Oh.
They just don't have, barring the fact that there is an Invoker who's 5, 1, and 2 with 3,400 gold, and a Spectre who's 3-1-10 with 1,700 extra gold. Let's forget about all that. I don't think that, honestly, Iowa even has the tools to handle the Broodmother, who's about to get another kill, because for some reason, Iowa keep walking up top like lemmings off a cliff, one at a time, into the gaping maw of this Broodmother.
She is a hungry and fickle beast as she continues this top push. They've literally stopped trying to stop her en masse. Now, number 5's can come forward to see what he can do, put down a ward, but it's going to cost him as he's too far forward. He's going to get caught here. Okay, the bounce hit Broodmother, but it's not going to be enough. He goes down, and now she can just push on the racks. Vinny trying to get some farm.
It's like watching Shelob eat ogres. They're just walking in. It does not matter.
So, and that was I mean, it was a desperation ward thing. And they brought everybody up to the top to try and stop and hold their tier 3. I don't know,
Yeah,
man.
they brought everybody up top to stop it, but they did it in the way, like, if a football team did that with their defenders, you would immediately get blitzed, because they walked everybody in to stop it one at a time. It's like having 6 of your defenders sitting on their butts, and then every time one of them falls over, the next one stands up and runs over to try and stop the entire offensive line.
For real, that's a 10,000 gold lead, XP at 7,500. A lot of that is on this Broodmother, but they can't even find her. She's two-shotting creeps. She's killing anybody
They
who
ignored
comes in.
her. They let the Omni Knight try to solo a Broodmother, which is not going to happen. For 2 or 3 levels, he can use Purification to keep her under control, but after that, it's just... She won't even, he's hardly more than a melee creep to her at a certain point. They did not rotate up. They did this aggressive tri-lane. They did not get really anything out of it. Every tactical decision that Iowa has made has come back to bite them in the butt.
Ursa's going rogue, tries to get himself an Aegis. Not going to happen, though. High ground. Wirt putting in some good damage. Vinny going to run out there. Wirt does manage to swap away. Oh, the EMP, the Invoker, the turnaround. Sax wants to make a play. Caught in the link, but a nice stun by Matau is going to try to get something done. Vink utilizing everything that Omni gave him. Desperately staying alive there and getting a counter kill on the Spectre, which they absolutely needed. That's a lot of gold going to her pocket, but is that going to be enough for Vink? Meanwhile, Omni Knight dies again in the top. Vinny now goes up there to find Hackdor. Hackdor just walks away with a plethora of broodlings. I mean, he's not even trying to keep more in his lane anymore.
More than half the range barracks is gone and will not regenerate. Half of the melee barracks is gone and might regenerate if they can keep Broodmother off of it for long enough.
And he's got the Necro 2 recipe already bought, close to 3. I mean, that's...
He's got a GPM right now with only his own lane's towers down. He's got a GPM of 650. Like, that is after you get ziggurats or moonwells, racks, towers, kills, all of that end game combined, a 650 GPM professional Broodmother would be a pretty good game. Now Vinny's probably dead here.
Vinny is going to go. He's trying to run. Hector making a good movement, locking him in space. So many body blocks, and Vinny stuck inside. Can't do much as the chase comes on. He will go down, and I'll be honest, I haven't seen a massacre like this since Wounded Knee.
They just keep walking in one at a time. She's 8-0-0. Nobody else from her team has had to come up to this lane. Like, I do not understand what they are angering me, Toffees, by going into this lane one at a time over and over. It's like every single one of them has watched the guy before him walk into the Broodmother and evaporate and thought to himself, yeah, that looks okay. All the way he's having.
It's just so... It's definitely tough to watch. It feels uncomfortable, and RIT will now start to push down the mid lane. The last bastion of hope for University of Iowa will begin to fall. Looks like maybe the guys are rallying for one last big move here at the tier 2. They'll fall into line behind Vink, but the split push from Hector will continue. This should be an engagement. Matau's looking for someone. Yule Scepter is going to come out, and Vink in some trouble. EMP, Tornado, beautifully done by Z to catch Mangler. Swap, a double, a triple, probably a quad on Mango number 5 here as well. That'll make it 4. Up on top, they're going for 5 against Vinny. Can they do it? Vinny, in fact, no, they're not. He doesn't even bother with Vinny. He just leans everybody on top of the racks, and the racks will go down as Vinny says, I can't stop it. I can't do anything. Vinny dropping fairly low. Hector just standing in the wings watching, and down goes the melee racks. Down goes the middle tower, and honestly, down goes University of Iowa from their chances at DreamHack.
What do you do?
I'm not a fat lady, but I'm tempted to start singing.
You know, at least somebody would, because University of Iowa are not in the mood for tunes right now.
22,000 gold lead.
We could have just watched this Broodmother. This game and here's the thing, RIT, everybody on the team played really well. But you could have just watched the Broodmother and you would have understood what happened this game.
That is true. Yule's going to come out on Sex. That's going to put him in dangerous position. He force staffs forward. Z draws the ire of the ward. And look at this. He's regenning from the high ground. Turns back on Vink. Roll away to safety. Sex doing what he can. He's taking a lot of damage from the ultimate from Vink. He could potentially go down here, but he is very, very fast. He got the distance. He got the range. He gets out. Wirt left behind, and he goes head-to-head with number 5. Can he finish him? He does. Shark Mangler now trying to go, and the entire team is committing to kill a support who took one with him, but Z is hiding in the wings. EMP Tornado, the plays, in comes Vinny. He wants to go. Wirt putting it on, and that is a 5-man wipe. Hector is godlike, and the end is near as Hector has taken the top racks. He's going to rotate down to help his team push the middle. Everyone is dead. This is a massacre. This is violent. This is uncomfortable. This is rough, man.
I can't. I have no idea why they haven't called the GG yet. To be honest, as soon as that Broodmother pick came out, things were looking bad, and the only way they could have possibly won this was if they managed to shut the Broodmother down and get going before the Spectre had a chance to get up and online. And they took the complete opposite approach of see how fast we can let this Broodmother get online, which is the antithesis of an effective strategy against the Broodmother. She is a borderline trashy hero if you just give her due attention. But the one case where she is just painfully strong is if you don't prioritize her.
Vinny, Vinky, no VG as they get knocked out here. The GG finally comes out from the guys from Iowa. They've given up hope, and that is it. RIT, who came in with a worse record in the overall because of their scoring and because of their second half play, secures a spot in the finals, in the playoffs. So there is no round robin end of tournament. The top scoring teams get seeded into the playoff brackets. Playoffs are single elimination. You fight for everything. Top 4 get flown out to Austin, Texas for DreamHack in May, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So these teams want to be there. Iowa put up a great season, but this is the end of it for them. Congratulations to the Rochester Institute of Technology for bringing the heat and playing out of their damn minds today, doing a really good job, but they have some tall orders ahead of them as they go forward in this tournament, guys. We have our last non-playoff coverage coming at you live on Thursday night. Myself and Gorgon will be here to cover that, and then we'll be on a short break, I believe, until March 8th when the playoffs will start up in earnest. So make sure you join us on Thursday. Tell your friends, get the folks out here, because that is also going to be a massive match between two teams that are on elimination point. It's going to be UCLA versus Minnesota. Both teams fighting for their place. One in playoffs, one goes home. So it'll be another great night. A big shout out to our sponsors again, Twitch and Asus Republica Gamers, for making this possible. You can find me at Toffee's TV. Gorgon, where can these folks find you?
You guys can find me over at the Wonder Cow on Twitter.
You guys, that's it. That's all we got for you tonight. Have a wonderful evening. A big congratulations to Rochester. My name is Toffees. I'll play some music and hang out in Twitch chat for just another round or so if you have any questions or concerns. But as always, have a wonderful evening, and Toffees out.